Hello Wolfpack. I wanted to make a video today about the current state of Bitcoin and about the fact that we seem like we might be heading into a bit of a corrective phase. Not right now, right? Not right now, but in the next few weeks. I've got my eyes on about early November. I'm thinking we're going to have a corrective phase on Bitcoin, and I think that that's not a bearish thing. And this is what I'm going to be talking about in this video. I don't think that's a bearish thing. In fact, I think it's incredibly bullish. All right, so before we get into this video, I want to look at a few things. I want to look at the fear and greed index, right? Obviously, this is not a reliable indicator of whether we're going to be seeing corrections in the short term, but the fact of the matter is the fear greed index is at the highest valuation it's actually been at since, well, all the way back here in around March, right? It's at the highest valuation it's been at since March, right? So it's very much in territory of a bull market, right? It's been 7 months since we've seen a valuation this high in the fear greed index, and usually that is a bearish thing, because usually when we see high valuations, it means that sooner or later we're going to correct because there's too much greed in the market. We need to flush out the leverage, whatever it may be. And if we look at the cyclical theory, and this is what I want to talk about in this video for the most part, we saw this last bull run here, right? 2013 is not really relevant. 2013, the bull run was very, very short. It only lasted 56 days. There wasn't much time for us to correct in general, and so we just went straight up, right? But the last bull market, and a lot of people say we look very similar to 2013 and 2014. Sorry, 2013, for the most part. I would disagree with that, right? I understand that we had a double peak cycle in 2013, and we're currently seeing a double peak cycle right now. If we are to go to our price target of 113k, we definitely would see a double peak cycle. But in terms of the actual structure itself, I think we actually look more similar to 2017. I'll tell you why. We had this run up here. We topped out in May, right? We had this run up, and we topped out. Well, we actually topped out in April, but we only started the drop in May, right? So same thing there. And then we bottomed out here in July. All right, we bottomed out here in July. We made this first rounded pattern here in August and September. First random pattern in August and September, and now we're currently moving upwards, right? And we're currently moving upwards here. Now, that's pretty convincing. You'd have to be pretty much blind to a certain extent to not see the similarities in structure. Obviously, it doesn't look the same, because we didn't actually correct and stay down here for a while in 2017. But the structure is identical, and the dates in which it's happened is identical. So to assume that what will happen in the future is not going to be somewhat identical is counterlogical, right? Because, if something has happened in the past over and over and over again, it's more likely to happen in the future, not in real life, but in the crypto markets, in the financial markets, because it gets built into someone's head, right, that it's going to happen again, right? Investor psychology is a major moving point in the market. If enough people believe something's going to happen, it happens, right? Just like Q4, there's nothing in the Bitcoin code, there's nothing in the fundamentals that says Bitcoin needs to pump in Q4, but enough people believe it's going to pump in Q4 that it does. That's just how it works, right? So going off of this, we can assume that this red weekly candle, we had one red leaf weekly candle in the whole of Q4 in 2017. We can assume that we are going to be seeing a red weekly candle in 2017 in this cycle, in this move up here in Q4. And as for when that happened, we can pretty much be down to the date, because for everything else in terms of structure, we were down to the date, right? Everything happened in accordance here with the correct time. So we're looking at this red candle, and we can see what's very interesting about this red candle, right, is I don't think we're going to be seeing it just yet. I think we're going to move above our all-time high before we see this candle, okay? Because right now, if we were on the 2017 chart, we would be around here, right? We'd be programmed, we'd be sitting at around $6,000, $6,000 USD. We moved up to around 7,500 before dropping down to around 6,000 once again. So what I would be expecting to happen, this is not set in stone, this is just speculation, but what I would be expecting to happen is us moving above our all-time high, right? $65,000, going to, I don't know, let's say $72,000, right? $72,000, and then correcting down in the first week of November, right? In the first week of November, correcting downwards towards $60,000 again, and then heading upwards to the bull market. And what I want to say about this, and you know, we can take a measured move here. We can see how much we actually dropped from the open to the close, right? We dropped 21%. If we went up to $72,000 by, you know, just a rough speculation, $72,000, we dropped 21% from 72. We'll be going down like 57, right? Obviously, I've just grabbed that number 72 out of nowhere, so it could be a little bit more precise. But the point is, a correction would not actually take us down that far, and it would be very healthy. It would fully refresh the fear greed index because of the fact that if we were over all-time highs, sorry, I was just watching a video there, if we were over all-time highs on Bitcoin, and we had a correction, a lot of people would be screaming that the bull market is over, right? A lot of people would be screaming that the bull market is over. And so we would see that correction have a massive hit for the fear greed index and the CBBI. Now, what I want to go into is the fact that how would this correction affect altcoins, right? So we corrected here on the 6th of November, the week of the 6th of November, right? And we started heading up once again on the 13th of November, okay? If we go to the Ethereum chart and we go to 2017, right, we can see that we corrected here. So this was the correction on Bitcoin. I'm going to draw it out. This blue line was the correction on Bitcoin, the 6th of November. And we started heading up again on Bitcoin the week after. What we can see on Ethereum is literally that week, we actually started to make moves, right? We broke a critical resistance zone that we had formed here at around 350 USD. We broke that and we headed to the upside. The reason why we rallied after we saw a Bitcoin correction is because it reminded people that Bitcoin is not only going to go up to new all-time highs, it reminded people that altcoins are still good buying opportunities, right? So that's what I'm expecting to see in the first or second week of November, right? A drop down on Bitcoin, nothing too massive, but big enough for people to get very scared of the future of the bull market, right? Especially with all the FUD going around about Evergrande, etc. People could materialize that into a bearish argument, right? So what I'd be expecting is a drop down, a significant drop, nothing too much though, maybe into the 50K region, and then when Bitcoin recovers, altcoins actually start to make some moves, right? And that will be in early to mid-November. So it's actually a very bullish case. And we can see, you know, even on Ethereum, we're actually in a very, very similar market structure to what we were in 2017, right? We have this clear resistance zone here at around 4K, right? And we had this low here. We had a higher low. We've had this low here and we've had a higher low. They're both matched up in terms of dates as well. Very similar, right? So if we do see that correction in the first week of November, right? We can say around November 8th, and then we start moving up around November 15th. We should be breaking this resistance zone here on November 15th. Even this current test of this blue line we're having right now, we're currently testing 4K. We had a test of 4K in mid-October here in 2017 as well, before dropping back down and heading upwards. So I would expect something like this, drop down, head upwards, right? And then as we head into December and January, that's when the parabolic phase begins for altcoins and Ethereum, right? So the fact of the matter is, and you can say whatever you want to say, but the fact of the matter is, 2017 looks very similar to 2021, 2020 and 2021, and we look almost identical, in fact, of, you know, in forms of structure. So there's not really much reason I can come up with as to why we won't be seeing that early to mid-November correction. And from that correction, when we start recovering from it, altcoins should start to make their moves. Until that point, we should be stagnating for the most part on altcoins. So, you know, you can look at this bearishly or bullishly, right? I'm looking at it in a bullish light because altcoins are basically doing nothing right now, and a lot of people are getting annoyed with that, but that should be over soon, right? Within the next 3 weeks, altcoins should be starting to make some moves, and then hopefully November, December, and January will be very bullish months, right? So correction, first or second week of November, when we recover, altcoins will start moving as well. That's what I'm thinking for Bitcoin. That's what I'm thinking for altcoins. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.